Before fridges, freezers, or even ice boxes, how did people keep food from rotting in the summer heat? The answer might surprise you. It comes from one of America's most self-reliant communities, the Amish. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a life-changing tip. Today, we're diving into something super practical, slightly nostalgic, and, honestly, kind of genius. We're uncovering 30 Amish secrets to store food in summer. Yes, without electricity. And trust me, once you see these hacks, you'll wonder why no one taught them to you growing up. Whether you're prepping for a blackout, trying to cut grocery costs, or just love old-school wisdom that actually works. This list is pure gold. So grab a notepad, because you're going to want to try at least one of these tricks this weekend. Let's jump right in. Alright, buckle up. We're about to drop 30 time-tested, fridge-free food storage secrets straight from the Amish playbook. Some are shockingly simple, others are flat-out clever. Let's go! Number 1. Root cellars. Root cellars are like nature's fridge. They've been around for ages, and the Amish use them to keep food fresh all summer long. These underground storage spots stay cool and humid, which is perfect for veggies like carrots, potatoes, and beets. You don't need fancy tools or electricity, just a bit of space and some smart planning. Most root cellars are dug into the ground or built under homes or sheds. The thick walls and dirt roof help keep the temperature steady. That means your food stays crisp without rotting or freezing. It's simple but super effective. You can store apples, onions, and even squash in a root cellar. Just make sure everything is dry before you put it in. Moisture can cause mold, and that's no good. Use wooden crates or baskets to keep things organized and off the floor. Good airflow is key. Even if you don't have a full root cellar, you can mimic the idea. A basement corner with low light and decent airflow works well. Or try a small buried container in your yard. Either way, you'll be surprised how much you can save without turning on the fridge. It's a smart, old-school trick that still works today. And best of all, it's free once it's set up. No power, no noise, just fresh food stored the natural way. Number 2. Clay pot coolers, Zir pots. Clay pot coolers, also known as Zir pots, are a simple but brilliant way to keep food fresh without electricity. They work like a mini fridge. No plug needed. All you need are 2 clay pots, one smaller than the other, some sand, and water. It's that easy. Here's how it works. Place the smaller pot inside the larger one. Fill the gap between them with wet sand. Put your fruits or veggies in the inner pot, then cover it with a damp cloth or lid. As the water in the sand evaporates, it pulls heat out of the inner pot. That keeps everything inside cool and crisp. This trick is perfect for summer when your kitchen gets hot and stuffy. Tomatoes, peppers, even herbs can last longer when stored this way. The best part? It costs almost nothing to set up. You can find these pots at garden stores or online, or repurpose old ones from around the house. The Amish use this method a lot, especially during harvest season. It's eco-friendly, budget-friendly, and surprisingly effective. You don't need a fancy setup, just a shady spot and a little patience. Give it a try if your fridge is full or if you want to cut down on energy use. You might be surprised how well it works. Just keep the sand moist and check on your food every few days. Freshness really can come from 2 pots and a little water. Number 3. Sand and water vegetable storage. Storing vegetables in sand and water is a smart, no-electricity trick the Amish have used for generations. It's perfect for keeping root veggies crisp and fresh all summer long. All you need is a box, some clean sand, and a bit of water. That's it. Start by filling a wooden or plastic crate with damp sand. Bury your carrots, beets, or radishes right in it. Greens removed first. The sand holds moisture and keeps the veggies cool, almost like a natural fridge. If the sand starts to dry out, just sprinkle a little more water over it. Easy as that. Another way to use this method is with a bucket of water. Stand thick-stemmed veggies like celery or bok choy upright in a deep container filled with a few inches of water. Cover them loosely with a plastic bag and keep them in a cool, shaded spot. They'll stay crunchy for days. This hack works because it mimics how plants stay fresh in the ground, with steady moisture and cooler temps. You don't need fancy tools or a big space. A corner of your garage or basement will do. It's especially handy when you've got a big harvest and not enough fridge room. Just grab a box, pack in the sand, tuck in your veggies, and forget about spoilage for a while. Fresh food doesn't always have to mean high-tech storage. Sometimes it's just dirt, water, and a little old-school wisdom. Number 4. Buried barrels. Buried barrels are another clever way the Amish keep food fresh all summer. And honestly, they're like having your own underground fridge. All you need is a sturdy barrel or large container, some straw, and a patch of dirt in a shady spot. Start by digging a hole big enough to fit the barrel with a little space around it. Line the bottom with dry straw or hay. This acts as insulation and keeps moisture away from your food. Place your vegetables inside, then cover them with more straw. Top it off with a wooden lid or thick piece of cardboard, and finally, pile dirt or mulch on top to block out heat. This method works great for root veggies like potatoes, onions, and carrots. The ground stays cool, and the straw helps control humidity so your food doesn't rot or sprout too early. It's perfect if you've got a garden harvest coming in and not enough fridge space. The best part? Once it's set up, you don't have to worry about it. Just check in every now and then to grab what you need. No electricity, no noise, just fresh food stored the old-fashioned way. Even if you live in a suburban home with a small yard, you can try this trick. A 5-gallon bucket buried halfway in the ground works just fine. It's simple, cheap, and surprisingly effective. Exactly how the Amish like it. Number 5. Sand and water. Vegetable storage. Storing vegetables in sand and water is a simple, no-electricity trick the Amish have used for years. It's perfect for keeping root veggies fresh when the summer heat kicks in. All you need is a box, some clean sand, and a bit of water. Nothing fancy. Start by filling a wooden or plastic crate with damp sand. Tuck your carrots, beets, or radishes right into it, making sure to remove the greens first. The sand holds moisture and keeps the veggies cool, almost like a natural fridge. If the sand starts to dry out, just sprinkle a little more water over it. That's all it takes. Another easy way to use this method is with a bucket of water. Stand thick-stemmed veggies like celery or bok choy upright in a deep container filled with a few inches of water. Loosely cover them with a plastic bag and keep them in a cool, shaded spot. They'll stay crisp for days. This hack works because it mimics how plants stay fresh in the ground, with steady moisture and cooler temps. You don't need any special tools or a big space. A corner of your garage or basement will do just fine. It's especially handy when you've got a big harvest and not enough fridge room. Just grab a box, pack in the sand, tuck in your veggies, and forget about spoilage for a while. Fresh food doesn't always mean high-tech storage. Sometimes it's just dirt, water, and a little old-school wisdom. Number 6. Shade cloths. Over food areas, shade cloths are a simple but smart way the Amish keep food cool and protected during the hot summer months. These lightweight covers block direct sunlight while still letting in fresh air, which helps slow down spoilage. No electricity needed. Instead of leaving baskets of fruit or freshly picked veggies out in the open, the Amish drape shade cloth over them. This keeps the heat from baking the food and prevents birds or bugs from getting too comfortable. It's like a breathable blanket that gives your food a little break from the sun's harsh rays. You don't need anything fancy. A basic garden shade cloth from a hardware store works just fine. Stretch it over a frame, hang it from hooks, or simply lay it right on top of crates or bins. Just make sure it doesn't touch the food directly. Airflow is key to keeping things fresh. This trick is especially useful if you're storing food outside or in a shed, garage, or covered porch. It creates a cooler microclimate using nothing but fabric and shade. And the best part? You can reuse the same cloth year after year. Even if you live in town with a small patio or balcony, you can try this hack. It's cheap, easy, and perfect for anyone looking to keep their summer harvest fresh without cranking up the AC or fridge. Just a bit of shade and good airflow can make a big difference. And the Amish have known this for generations. Number 7. Cool pantries with airflow design. Amish homes often have cool pantries built with smart airflow in mind, making them perfect for storing food through the summer heat. These pantries aren't just shelves in a closet. They're carefully designed spaces that stay naturally cool and dry, almost like a mini storage cellar without going underground. The key to a cool pantry is good ventilation. Amish families build theirs with vents near the floor and ceiling so air can flow freely. Warm air rises and escapes through the top vents, while cooler air comes in from below. This constant, gentle movement keeps the space from getting stuffy or too humid, which helps food last longer. These pantries are usually placed on the north or east side of the house, where they get less direct sunlight. They might use thick walls, stone floors, or even wooden shelving to help regulate temperature. Jars of pickled veggies, dried herbs, grains and canned goods all find a home here, safe from heat and moisture damage. You don't need to build a whole new room to try this at home. A closed-off cabinet, a basement nook, or even a well-ventilated closet can work as a cool pantry. Just keep it dark, dry, and away from heat sources like the stove or oven. Add a small fan if needed, and you've got yourself a simple, old-school way to store summer foods without turning on the fridge. Number 8. Mason jars plus wax sealing. Mason jars are a kitchen staple, but when combined with wax sealing, they become a powerful tool for storing food all summer long, without electricity. The Amish have used this simple method for generations to keep jams, jellies, and even dried goods fresh for months. The process is straightforward. Start by filling a clean mason jar with your food. Think homemade sauces, chopped fruits, or even herbs in oil. Instead of using a metal lid, the Amish pour melted wax over the top to create an airtight seal. This keeps air and bacteria out, preventing spoilage without the need for refrigeration. Beeswax or paraffin wax works best. Just heat it until it's fully melted, then carefully pour a thin layer over the surface of the jar. Let it cool and harden before storing in a cool, dark place. When you're ready to use the contents, simply break the wax seal, scoop out what you need, and reseal if possible. This method is perfect for preserving small batches of summer flavours like strawberry jam, pickled peppers, or infused oils. It's also eco-friendly. No plastic wrap or vacuum sealers needed, just glass jars and natural wax. Even if you're not canning regularly, wax-sealed mason jars offer a neat, old-school way to store food longer. It's a tip that blends practicality with tradition. Exactly how the Amish like to keep things simple, smart, and shelf-stable. Number 9. Salt curing for veggies and meat. Salt curing is one of the oldest and simplest ways to preserve food, and the Amish have used it for centuries, especially in the summer when fresh produce and meats need to last. It's a no-fuss method that doesn't require electricity, freezers, or fancy equipment. Just good old salt and thyme. For veggies like cabbage, cucumbers, and peppers, the Amish use salt to draw out moisture and create an environment where bad bacteria can't grow. This is how they make classics like sauerkraut and pickles. Just layer chopped vegetables with coarse salt in a jar or crock, press them down, and let nature do the work. Over days or weeks, the salt pulls out water and encourages good bacteria to develop, giving you tangy, shelf-stable results. When it comes to meat, salt curing is just as effective. The Amish often rub thick cuts of pork, beef, or even fish with a mix of salt and spices to preserve them. This pulls moisture out of the meat, slowing decay and locking in flavour. After curing, some meats are smoked or air-dried for extra preservation. This method not only keeps food from spoiling, but also deepens its flavour. Plus, it's budget-friendly and perfect for anyone looking to reduce waste or prep for leaner months. You don't have to be Amish to try this at home. A few jars, some salt, and a bit of patience are all you need to start preserving summer's bounty the natural way. Number 10. Fermentation basics. Fermentation is one of the Amish's favourite ways to preserve food in the summer. And it's been around for thousands of years. It's a simple, natural process that not only keeps vegetables fresh longer, but also boosts flavour and gut health. Best of all, it doesn't need electricity or fancy tools, just salt, water, and time. The basic idea is this. By submerging vegetables like cabbage, cucumbers, or carrots in a saltwater brine, you create the perfect environment for good bacteria to grow. These helpful microbes turn the natural sugars in the veggies into acids, which act as a preservative. That's how you get foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, and dill pickles, tangy, tasty, and packed with probiotics. To start fermenting, all you need is a clean jar, some filtered water, non-iodized salt, and your choice of vegetables. Pack them tightly into the jar, pour in the brine, and make sure the veggies stay submerged. Then cover the top with a cloth or lid that allows airflow and let it sit at room temperature for a few days to a few weeks. The warmer it is, the faster it ferments. The Amish often store their fermented jars in cool, dark places once they reach the desired taste. This slows down the process and keeps the food from over-fermenting. It's an easy, budget-friendly way to stretch summer harvests deep into fall and winter. And the best part? Fermented foods are not only delicious, but great for digestion too. All thanks to a little salt, thyme, and nature's own magic. Number 11. Drying herbs and fruits. Drying is one of the easiest and oldest ways to preserve food, and the Amish have perfected it over generations, especially in summer when herbs and fruits are at their peak. It's a simple method that requires no electricity, just fresh air, time, and a bit of patience. For herbs like basil, thyme, rosemary, and mint, the Amish often bundle them together and hang them upside down in a warm, dry, and well-ventilated space. A shed, attic, or even a kitchen cupboard works well as long as there's good airflow and no moisture. After a week or two, the leaves dry out completely and can be crushed and stored in jars for use all year long. Fruits like apples, peaches, plums, and berries can also be dried the same way, though they take a bit more time. Slicing them thin helps speed up the process. Some Amish families spread fruit slices on mesh trays or clean cloth screens and leave them outdoors under shade cloths to protect them from bugs and dust. Others use small drying racks indoors near heat sources like stoves. The result? Lightweight, flavourful snacks or cooking ingredients that don't spoil easily. Dried fruit can be added to oatmeal, baked goods, or trail mix. No refrigeration needed. This method is perfect for anyone looking to reduce waste, save money, or enjoy summer flavours long after the season ends. And best of all, it doesn't require any special tools. Just sun, air, and a little old-fashioned know-how. Number 12. Vinegar pickling. Vinegar pickling is a quick and easy way the Amish preserve vegetables during summer. No electricity or canning equipment needed. It's a simple method that uses vinegar, water, salt, and spices to create a brine that keeps food fresh for months while adding bold flavour. The process starts with fresh produce like cucumbers, onions, green beans, or peppers. The Amish wash and slice them, then pack them tightly into clean mason jars. Next comes the brine, usually a mix of equal parts vinegar and water, with a bit of salt and seasonings like dill, garlic, mustard seeds, or peppercorns. Pour the hot brine over the veggies, seal the jar, and let it cool. That's it. Over time, the vinegar works as a natural preservative, stopping bacteria from growing and giving the vegetables a tangy kick. Unlike fermented pickles, these don't need weeks to develop flavour. Most are ready to eat in just a few days. And because vinegar is acidic, they stay good on the shelf or in a cool pantry for a long time. This method is perfect for anyone with extra garden produce or a big batch of veggies they want to stretch through fall and winter. It's also budget-friendly and requires only basic kitchen supplies. You don't have to be Amish to make use of this trick. With just a few jars, some vinegar, and your favourite spices, you can pickle your way through summer's bounty. One tasty jar at a time. Number 13. Lard sealing. Lard sealing is a clever, old-fashioned way the Amish use to preserve meat without refrigeration. And it's surprisingly simple. Instead of relying on modern freezers, they use lard or rendered pork fat to create an airtight barrier that keeps meat fresh for weeks or even months. The process starts with fully cooked salted meat like ham, beef or chicken. Once cooled, the meat is packed into a clean crock or jar. Then, melted lard is poured carefully over the top until every inch is covered. As the lard cools and hardens, it forms a thick protective layer that seals out air and bacteria, preventing spoilage. This method works especially well in cool storage areas like pantries or cellars. When stored this way, meat stays moist and flavourful, ready to be sliced and eaten whenever needed. It's a common practice for preserving leftovers from large meals or butchering days. Lard sealing isn't just practical. It also adds a rich taste to the meat. Plus, it's eco-friendly and requires no plastic or electricity. Even if you're not storing meat long-term, this technique is worth trying. All you need is some lard, cooked meat, and a bit of patience. It's one more way the Amish make the most of what they have, using simple ingredients to keep food fresh the natural way. Number 14. Smoking meats. Naturally. Smoking meats is one of the oldest and most effective ways to preserve food, and the Amish have mastered this method over generations, especially in the summer, when fresh meat needs to last. It's a natural process that not only extends shelf life, but also adds deep, rich flavour that modern freezers just can't match. The process starts with curing the meat using salt and spices. This pulls out moisture and prevents bacteria from growing. Once cured, the meat is placed inside a smokehouse or a simple homemade smoker made from wood or metal. Then comes the key ingredient, smoke. The Amish use hardwoods like hickory, apple or oak to create a steady, low heat fire that gently yunju smokes the meat for hours or even days. This slow exposure to smoke dries out the meat while infusing it with natural preservatives found in wood smoke. The result? Smoked ham, bacon, or jerky that can be stored for weeks or months without refrigeration. Perfect for long summers or times when electricity isn't an option. Smoking doesn't just preserve meat, it transforms it into something special. The Amish often use this technique after butchering day, ensuring they have protein on hand for months. And while it takes time and patience, the payoff is worth it. You don't need fancy equipment to try this at home. A basic setup using bricks, wood, and a rack can do the job. With just a little effort, you can enjoy smoky, shelf-stable meats the way people have for centuries. Naturally, simply, and deliciously. Number 15. Making jerky. Making jerky is one of the Amish's go-to methods for preserving meat in summer, and it's been used for centuries by people all over the world. It's a simple way to turn extra cuts of beef, venison, or even turkey into a lightweight, long-lasting snack that doesn't need refrigeration. The process starts with slicing meat into thin, even strips. The Amish often use lean cuts like round steak or flank steak because they dry better without turning greasy. Once sliced, the meat is marinated in a mix of salt, vinegar, herbs, and spices. Not just for flavour, but also to help draw out moisture and prevent spoilage. After marinating, the strips are laid out on racks and left to dry in a warm, airy space. Some families use homemade smokehouses for both drying and flavouring the meat, while others rely on the sun, especially during hot summer days. Either way, the goal is the same: remove as much moisture as possible so bacteria can't grow. When fully dried, jerky becomes tough and chewy, but packed with flavour and protein. It can be stored in jars, cloth bags, or wrapped in paper and kept in a cool pantry for weeks or even months. This method is perfect for anyone looking to preserve meat without electricity. All you need is fresh meat, a few seasonings, and some patience. It's another smart, no-waste trick the Amish use to stretch their harvest and make the most of what they have, naturally and affordably. Number 16. Jam making with honey instead of sugar making. Jam with honey instead of sugar is a sweet, natural trick the Amish have used for generations, especially in summer when berries and fruits are at their peak. It's a simple way to preserve fruit without relying on store-bought sugar, and it results in a delicious, slightly healthier spread that can last for months. The process starts with fresh fruit like strawberries, raspberries, or blackberries. The Amish crush or chop the fruit and gently heat it in a pot until it softens and releases its juices. Then comes the honey, not just for sweetness, but also for its natural preservative qualities. Unlike refined sugar, honey has antibacterial properties that help keep the jam fresh longer without artificial additives. Once the honey is stirred in, the mixture simmers until it thickens into a rich, spreadable texture. Some families add a bit of lemon juice or pectin-rich fruits like apples to help it set better. After cooking, they pour the jam into sterilised jars, seal them with wax or lids, and store them in a cool, dark place. This method works great for anyone looking to cut back on processed sugar or use what they have on hand. Plus, honey brings its own unique flavour, making each batch taste a little different and special. It's another smart, old-school food hack the Amish swear by, proving you don't need fancy ingredients to make something tasty and long-lasting. All it takes is fruit, honey, heat, and a little time. Number 17. Canning without fancy tools. Canning is a time-honoured way to preserve summer's bounty, and the Amish have been doing it for generations, without the need for expensive gadgets or modern kitchen tools. Their method is simple, effective, and perfect for anyone who wants to store fruits, vegetables, or jams without electricity or high-tech equipment. The process starts with fresh, high-quality produce. The Amish wash and prepare their fruits or veggies, then pack them into clean glass jars. Some foods, like tomatoes or pickles, are packed in brine or juice, while others are processed using water bath techniques. Instead of using a pressure canner, they often rely on boiling water baths. A large pot, deep enough to cover the jars by a few inches, works just fine. Once the jars are filled and sealed with lids and rings, they're lowered into the pot and boiled for the recommended time to kill bacteria and create a vacuum seal. As the jars cool, the lids tighten on their own, a sign that the food is safely preserved. This method doesn't require special canning machines or timers, just basic kitchen supplies, some heat, and attention to detail. It's ideal for small batches and home harvests. By using this old-school technique, the Amish keep food safe and tasty all year long. And the best part? You can do it too. No fancy gear needed, just a pot, some jars, and a little patience. Number 18. Sun-drying tomatoes and peppers. Sun-drying is one of the Amish's favourite ways to preserve summer vegetables. And it couldn't be simpler. Tomatoes and peppers, in particular, take well to this old-world method that uses nothing but sunlight, air and a little patience. It's perfect for stretching your garden harvest or farmer's market finds long into the fall and winter. The process starts with slicing ripe tomatoes and fresh peppers into even pieces. The Amish often remove the skins from tomatoes first, either by briefly blanching them or leaving them out in the sun to soften. Once sliced, the veggies are spread out on clean mesh trays, wooden racks, or even cloth screens. These materials allow good airflow while keeping the food off the ground and away from dust or bugs. They're then left outdoors in direct sunlight for several days, usually covered lightly with cheesecloth to keep insects away. Every now and then, they're flipped to ensure even drying. Over time, the sun pulls out moisture, transforming plump tomatoes into chewy, flavour-packed strips and peppers into rich, leathery pieces. Once fully dried, they're stored in jars or cloth bags in a cool, dark place. No fridge, no electricity, just pure, concentrated flavour that lasts months. This method is not only budget-friendly, but also eco-friendly. Anyone with a sunny spot can try it. It's yet another way the Amish make the most of what nature provides, using the simplest tools to store food the natural way. Number 19. Using beeswax wraps. Instead of plastic, beeswax wraps are a natural, reusable alternative to plastic wrap that the Amish have used for generations to keep food fresh, especially in the summer heat. Made from cotton fabric coated in beeswax, these wraps create a breathable barrier that helps preserve fruits, vegetables, bread and cheese without trapping moisture or relying on electricity. The process is simple. Instead of sealing food in plastic bags or containers, the Amish wrap it tightly in a beeswax-coated cloth. The warmth of your hands softens the wax just enough to mould it around the food, creating a snug seal that keeps dust and bugs out while allowing the food to breathe. This helps prevent mould and keeps produce like cucumbers, apples, or herbs crisp longer. Unlike plastic wrap, which gets tossed after one use, beeswax wraps can be rinsed with cool water and reused for months. They're especially handy during summer when fresh garden goods need storing, but fridge space is limited. Plus, they're eco-friendly. No waste, no chemicals, just natural materials doing their job. Making your own beeswax wraps is easy too. Just melt beeswax, dip cotton fabric into it, let it dry, and you've got a sustainable food cover that smells faintly sweet and works like magic. It's another smart, low-tech trick the Amish swear by, proving that sometimes the best way to keep food fresh is also the oldest. No plastic, no problem. Just wax, cloth, and a little bit of wisdom passed down through the years. Number 20. Storing onions with potatoes. At first glance, storing onions and potatoes together might seem like a good idea. They're both root vegetables after all, but the Amish know something many of us don't. These two shouldn't share space for long. While both store well in cool, dark places, keeping them together can actually speed up spoilage. Potatoes give off moisture and a natural gas called ethylene as they age. This gas encourages onions to sprout faster, and the extra humidity can make both veggies rot sooner than expected. That's why the Amish keep them separated, even if they're stored in the same cellar or pantry. Instead, they use simple tricks to extend each vegetable's shelf life. Potatoes do best in breathable sacks or wooden crates, kept away from light to prevent greening. Onions, on the other hand, thrive in mesh bags or open baskets with plenty of airflow. A cool basement, shed or garage is perfect for both, just not side by side. Some families even hang onions in braided bunches or place them in old pantyhose to keep them dry and off the floor. For potatoes, covering them with a light blanket of straw or newspaper helps maintain stable conditions. It may seem like a small detail, but separating onions and potatoes is a big part of successful food storage, especially in summer when warmth and humidity are already working against you. It's another quiet but clever habit the Amish use to make their harvest last longer, without waste or worry. Number 21. Rotating stock regularly. One simple but often overlooked food storage habit the Amish swear by is rotating their stock regularly. It's not just about having a full pantry, it's about making sure nothing goes to waste. By keeping track of what was stored first and using it first, they avoid spoilage and make the most of every harvest. This practice, known as FIFO, first in, first out, is especially important in summer when heat and humidity can speed up decay. The Amish label their jars, baskets and barrels with dates or seasons, so they always know what came in first. When it's time to grab something for dinner, they reach for the oldest items before diving into the newer ones. It might sound like common sense, but without a system, even well-stored food can go bad unnoticed. That's why Amish families take a few minutes each week to check their shelves, move older items forward, and clear out anything that's starting to show signs of age. This habit works whether you're storing dried beans, canned goods, pickled vegetables, or root crops in a cellar. It helps keep everything fresh longer and reduces the need for last-minute fridge space or emergency grocery runs. For modern households, this tip is just as valuable. Whether you have a small kitchen cabinet or a full basement pantry, rotating your stock regularly is a smart, no-tech way to cut waste and save money, one shelf at a time. And as the Amish know all too well, staying organised is half the battle when it comes to storing food the right way. Number 22. Keeping a summer pantry. Checklist. A summer pantry checklist is one of those quiet but powerful habits the Amish use to stay organised and make the most of their harvest. With so much fresh food coming in from the garden or market, it's easy to lose track of what you've stored, what needs preserving, and what should be eaten first. That's where a simple list becomes a lifesaver. The Amish write down everything, from root vegetables tucked into the cellar to jars of jam cooling on the shelf. This checklist helps them plan meals, track expiration dates, and avoid last-minute surprises like forgotten squash rotting in the corner. It also makes restocking easier, so they never buy duplicates or run out of essentials. Creating your own checklist doesn't need to be fancy. A small notebook, chalkboard, or even sticky notes on the pantry door can work just fine. List what you have, how much, and when it was stored. Some families even mark which items are best for snacking now and which should be saved for later. This habit is especially useful in summer when food spoils faster. By staying on top of what's in stock, the Amish reduce waste, save money, and always know what's available. Without opening 10 jars to find one onion. It's another smart, low-tech trick that proves planning ahead beats scrambling later. And really, isn't that what good food storage is all about? A little list, a lot less stress, and a whole lot more summer flavour saved for months to come. 23. Using breathable containers. When it comes to storing food in the summer heat, the Amish know that not all containers are created equal. And breathable ones are their go-to choice. Unlike plastic bins or sealed bags that trap moisture and speed up spoilage, baskets, cloth sacks, and wooden crates allow air to flow freely, keeping fruits and vegetables fresh longer. For root vegetables like carrots, beets, and potatoes, the Amish often use wooden crates lined with damp sand or straw. These materials help regulate moisture, while the open design of the crate prevents mould and rot. For onions and garlic, mesh bags or hanging bundles work best. They let air move around each bulb, preventing soft spots and sprouting. Even summer fruits like apples and tomatoes do better in breathable setups. Instead of stacking them in tight plastic drawers, the Amish spread them out on open shelves or in shallow baskets so no piece is touching another. This simple spacing trick stops one spoiled item from affecting the whole batch. Breathable containers also come in handy for storing grains, beans, and dried herbs. Cloth or burlap sacks let these dry goods breathe without locking in humidity, which can cause clumping or mould in warm weather. It's a low-tech solution that beats modern plastic most days. By choosing airflow over airtight seals, the Amish keep their summer harvests crisp, dry, and ready to eat, without electricity, gadgets, or guesswork. Just natural materials, good ventilation, and a little old-school wisdom. Number 24. Herbs in water like bouquets. Keeping fresh herbs from wilting in the summer heat can be a real challenge, but the Amish have a surprisingly simple trick that works like magic, treating them like flowers. That's right. Just like a bouquet in a vase, they stand fresh herbs upright in a glass or jar of water, and it keeps them crisp and usable for days. This method is perfect for tender herbs like parsley, cilantro, dill, and basil. Instead of wrapping them in plastic or tossing them in the fridge where they can get crushed or dried out, the Amish trim the ends and place the bunches in a small amount of water on the counter. A loose plastic bag over the top helps hold in moisture without trapping heat, giving them a little greenhouse effect. The result? Herbs that stay green, fragrant, and ready to chop into meals anytime. No electricity needed, no fancy herb keepers, just a jar, some water, and a bit of countertop space. It's also a great way to use up what you've grown or bought before it goes bad. If you've got more than you can use right away, this method buys you a few extra days before you need to dry or freeze them. It may seem too simple to work, but that's the whole point. The Amish don't rely on gadgets or power. They use what they've always known: fresh air, clean water, and a little common sense. And when it comes to keeping summer herbs alive, sometimes that's all you really need. Number 25. Storing greens wrapped in damp cloth. Keeping leafy greens fresh in the summer heat can be tricky, but the Amish have a clever trick that doesn't require plastic bags or a crowded fridge, wrapping them in a damp cloth. It's a simple, breathable way to keep kale, spinach, chard, or lettuce crisp for days, using nothing but fabric and a little water. The process is easy. After washing and drying the greens, just enough so they're not dripping wet, the Amish wrap them loosely in a clean, slightly damp cotton towel or flour sack. Then, they tuck the bundle into a basket, bowl, or even a cool corner of the pantry or cellar. The cloth holds just enough moisture to prevent wilting while still allowing airflow, which keeps the leaves from turning slimy or mouldy. This method works especially well in cooler, shaded spaces where the temperature stays fairly stable. If you live in a modern home, you can try it in your fridge too. Just place the wrapped greens in a vegetable drawer for best results. Unlike plastic bags that trap condensation, the cloth lets them breathe while staying fresh longer. It's one of those quiet, no-waste habits the Amish use every summer. No electricity, no packaging, just a bit of cloth, and a smart way to make garden greens last a little longer, the natural way. Pickling excess produce. Number 26. Pickling excess produce. When summer brings a flood of fresh vegetables from the garden, the Amish have a go-to solution for keeping them from going to waste: pickling. It's a simple, time-tested way to preserve cucumbers, peppers, green beans, carrots, and even beets. Turning everyday veggies into tangy, long-lasting treats with just a few basic ingredients. The process starts by packing clean, sliced or whole vegetables into mason jars. Then comes the brine, usually a mix of vinegar, water, salt, and spices like dill, garlic, mustard seeds, or peppercorns. The Amish often use apple cider vinegar for its rich flavour, but white vinegar works just as well. Once the brine is poured over the veggies and the jars are sealed, they're left to cool and infuse. Unlike fermented pickles that take weeks, these quick pickles are ready to eat in just a few days. and because vinegar acts as a natural preservative, they can be stored in a cool, dark pantry for months without refrigeration. This method is perfect for anyone dealing with a summer harvest surplus. Instead of letting extra produce rot on the counter or taking up fridge space, pickling gives it a second life. One crunchy, flavourful bite at a time. It's another smart, no-waste trick the Amish rely on every summer. No fancy tools, no electricity, just jars, vinegar, and a little kitchen know-how to make the most of what nature provides. Number 27. Eating seasonally equals less storage needed. One of the smartest, simplest food storage secrets the Amish live by isn't about clever containers or preservation methods. It's about timing. By eating seasonally, they naturally reduce the need for long-term storage, keeping their meals fresh, flavourful, and in sync with nature's rhythm. In the summer, when gardens are bursting with tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and greens, there's no need to pack everything away for winter. Instead, the Amish enjoy what's ripe and abundant right now. This not only makes meals more delicious, think juicy heirloom tomatoes or crisp garden cucumbers, but also cuts down on canning, drying, and pickling time. Eating what's in season also means food lasts longer without special methods. Summer fruits and vegetables are at their peak freshness when harvested locally, so they don't spoil as quickly as out-of-season produce that's been shipped long distances. Plus, since they're eating foods that naturally thrive in the current weather, there's less need for artificial cooling or complicated storage systems. This habit keeps pantries uncluttered, fridges less crowded, and meals deeply connected to the time of year. It's a low-stress, sustainable way to eat, one that saves work, reduces waste, and brings more joy to every bite. The Amish know something many of us forget. Sometimes the best way to store food is simply to eat it while it's at its best. And when you follow the seasons, every meal feels fresh, natural, and perfectly timed. Number 28. Using straw for insulation. Straw isn't just for farm animals. The Amish have long used it as a natural insulator for keeping food cool and fresh during the summer heat. It's an easy, no electricity way to regulate temperature and moisture, making it perfect for root cellars, buried barrels, or even simple storage boxes in a cool basement or shed. When storing vegetables like potatoes, carrots, or onions, the Amish often lay a straw between rows of produce inside wooden crates or bins. The straw acts as a buffer, trapping cool air and slowing down spoilage. It also helps absorb excess moisture, which prevents rot and keeps vegetables from touching each other, reducing the chance of one bad veggie spoiling the bunch. For outdoor storage, straw is packed around buried containers or laid thickly on the floor of root cellars to create a cushioning layer that stabilizes temperature. Some families even wrap individual cabbages or squash in straw before stacking them in a cool corner of the pantry or garage. This trick works so well because straw is lightweight, breathable, and excellent at regulating airflow. Unlike plastic or tightly sealed containers that can trap humidity, straw allows just enough movement to keep food fresh without drying it out. It's another low-tech, high-impact method the Amish use to stretch their harvest through the summer months, proving that sometimes the best insulation isn't found in a hardware store, but in a bale of straw sitting in the barn. Number 29. Knowing which foods shouldn't be refrigerated. Not all foods need the fridge to stay fresh, and the Amish know this better than anyone. In fact, refrigerating certain items can actually do more harm than good, causing them to lose flavour, texture, or even rot faster. By learning what not to chill, you can save space, reduce waste, and keep your summer produce tasting its best. Take tomatoes, for example. The Amish never store them in the fridge because cold kills their flavour and makes the texture mealy. Instead, they leave them on the counter, stem side down, to ripen and last longer naturally. Potatoes and onions are also fridge-free zone items. The cold causes potatoes to turn sweet and soft, while onions lose their crunch and start to mould in damp fridge air. Other surprising no-chill foods include garlic, winter squash, avocados, until ripe, and most stone fruits like peaches and plums. Bananas? They brown faster when chilled, so they're kept at room temperature until ready to eat. By following this simple rule, only refrigerate what truly needs it, the Amish keep their pantries organised, their food fresher, and their energy use low. It's another smart, old-school habit that proves, sometimes, the best way to store food is the way nature intended. 30 storing apples with sand. Here's one more lesser-known Amish trick for keeping apples fresh all summer long: storing them in sand. That's right, sand. Instead of letting apples sit out and soften or taking up space in the fridge, the Amish tuck them into clean, dry sand inside wooden crates or boxes. The sand helps regulate moisture and temperature, creating a natural buffer that slows ripening and prevents rot. This method works best with firm, late summer varieties like Honeycrisps or Granny Smiths. Just make sure the apples are completely dry before placing them in the sand, and don't let them touch each other. A cool basement or shaded cellar is the perfect spot to keep them crisp for weeks. It's another simple, no electricity way the Amish stretch the life of their harvest, proving once again that sometimes the best food storage tools aren't gadgets. They're dirt, sand, and a little old-school know-how. And there you have it, 30 Amish food storage secrets that don't just work in the summer heat, but actually make life simpler, cheaper, and more connected to old-fashioned wisdom. From root cellars and clay pot coolers to breathable containers and knowing what not to refrigerate, these tricks have stood the test of time for a reason. They work. The beauty of these methods is that you don't need fancy tools or electricity, just a little planning, some natural materials, and a willingness to slow down and learn from those who've mastered the art of self-reliance. Whether you're storing herbs in water like bouquets or wrapping greens in cloth to keep them fresh, each tip helps cut waste, save money, and enjoy your summer harvest longer. So, if you found at least one idea worth trying, and I'm guessing you did, do us both a favour. Smash that like button, drop a comment below telling me which trick you're testing first, and subscribe so you never miss another practical, nostalgia-filled life hack. Oh, and if you know someone who still thinks the fridge is the only way to store food, share this video with them. They'll thank you later. Until next time, stay cool, stay smart,